right, hello and welcome to ICT4D 2026. My name is Nick Martin, CEO of Tech Change, and we are here at the pop-up studio. And our first guest, Kamil, I'm going to have you start just by explaining a little bit about what you do and the org that you're representing today.
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Kamil Shafiq. I'm here from Canada. I'm one of the co-founders of Pocket, and we basically provide software that's used for monitoring and evaluation and field data collection with kind of a more focused niche on self-reported data, participant-led monitoring, kind of community-based insights, and really kind of getting to that last mile user instead of always going through that traditional centralized enumerator-based approach for collecting data.
Okay, great. Well, we're excited to have you here at ICT4D. Is this your first time coming?
First time was attending in Accra 2 years ago, and this is our second time coming.
Fantastic.
And we decided to level up and exhibit this time around.
I love it. I love it. So walk us through, is there a project or a type of project that give us a little more shape and flavor for the work so people who are watching might be able to understand a bit better?
Yeah, definitely. Well, right now in general, we're doing a lot of work in how we can integrate and build AI use cases into proposals that NGOs are working on.
Great.
I mean, a lot of funders are excited about AI, and there's a lot of different use cases across the chain for monitoring and evaluation. One of the ones that's coming to mind is one that is a pretty large, 4 to 6 year U.S. government project in Pakistan. And for that one, we're going to be building out a custom AI workflow to basically track meal deliveries using AI and ensure that, when they're dropped, there's proof that they're dropped. It can be validated with AI that it's actually a meal in that photo instead of, a puppy on the street or something like that. And so a lot of different use cases like that, we're starting to work into a lot of proposals with some of our NGO partners.
Certainly is the hot topic. I think we
it
have
is.
Something like 50% of the participants
have said AI?
in intakes.
Oh, no.
I am specialized or passionate about artificial intelligence coming into this conference. So certainly a buzz. I guess I'm curious, since you're working with AI, are there things coming up that you're wrestling with that are creating some challenges, or you're like, this is keeping me up at night and I can't quite wrap my mind fully around it? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think as you'll probably see in the conference as well, there's a lot of different use cases, and I think we are scared of falling into the trap of trying to fish a square peg into a circular hole almost. So we don't want to shove AI and wedge it into every program that doesn't need it. For us, our focus is really on that self-reported data, participant-led monitoring component, and kind of the community voice component. And so any way where we can use AI to either validate data in the field or potentially make it easier for NGOs to just understand what's happening in the field using AI, that's our focus. If there's anything that makes us nervous, it's just how quickly things are moving. We'll build a feature, put it out, and then within 3 weeks, it'll end up being another add-on to Claude, and the vendor that we were using is probably just going to vanish from existence in the next 3 months. So that's always something. But, it's part of the game, and it's also exciting. It keeps us on our toes. And
it's such a dance. Like, on the one hand, it's so exciting to see these things moving so quickly. The velocity is exhilarating, but it's also impossible to keep up and to really fully ever feel like you're in control of your stack, in control of the workflow, have a handle on the behavioral dynamics that get the most out of these tools. So certainly not alone in that challenge. Well, any other parting thoughts or things you're most excited about as we head into the summer of 2026 here?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously last year was a tough one for the entire sector, and now it feels as though, and maybe I'm being a little too optimistic here, it feels as though the dust has settled or is starting to settle. And so with that, I think we're starting to understand that we are in a really resource-constrained environment. And so stretching that dollar and being really conscious about where those dollars go, as far as, my world is monitoring and evaluation, how can we do M&E in a way that's more grassroots driven, that's more scalable, and that's more cost effective? And for us, it's kind of looking at it in a way where we displace the traditional forms of data collection. Enumerators, they go to communities every 6 months, 12 months, they knock on doors, and it's great. We need those baseline, midline, endline surveys. But there's a huge opportunity, I think, to leverage the community members themselves, who are now more connected to internet. There's more smartphone penetration. And if we can engage these community members and program participants and farmers and community health workers and all the different folks that use our tool and incentivize them to share surveys, take photos, share videos, record voice notes of their experiences, their observations, the challenges that they're having with the program, the benefits that a program is providing for them.
All right, Kamil, we're here heading into the summer of 2026. What are you most excited about that you haven't spoken about yet that you think folks who might be watching would also be excited about?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously AI is a huge focus, but elephant in the room is, well, maybe it's not in the room. There's a huge, huge focus on how the resources have been constrained because of all the funding cuts last year. And for me, in my world and monitoring and evaluation, the whole focus is on empowering NGOs and partners to collect data in a meaningful way in this resource constrained environment. And so for us, the main solution is obviously working with enumerators, but also going one step further into communities, working with last mile participants, program participants, farmers, beneficiaries of programs, community health workers, and actually incentivizing them to report on data and report on the program and their experiences with the program, whether it's taking photos or sharing a voice note or entering information for a survey or giving any type of feedback on what's going well or not well in real time. That's, I think, a really interesting opportunity that now a lot of NGOs are excited by, obviously because now there's more access to internet, smartphone penetration is improving, but also because it's just a really scalable, cost-effective way to collect real-time granular data from the last mile. So I'm excited by that. We're getting a lot of interest from NGO partners around that opportunity, and we've built a solution that's really focused on that use case for many years now, and we're starting to see it really explode. And
amazing.
In addition to AI, that's a huge one for me.
Well, listen, Kamil, we're so glad that you're here and you've decided to share your conference with us. We're excited about the work you're doing at Pocket, and we really encourage folks to go check it out, check out the website.
Yeah, Pocket
hire these guys, partner with them. Amazing work. All right, friend.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining
us
in the
us.
studio.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Take care.